Hi Year 6 and welcome to Wednesday's maths lesson. So this week we've been looking at fractions, decimals and percentages, and you've been doing brilliantly converting between them and finding equivalences. Today we are going to look at finding percentages of amounts. So to start off, let's recap. Pause the video and tell me, what is a percentage? So a percentage, much like a fraction, is part of the whole. Okay, and percent itself means out of 100. So if you had 29 out of 100, you'd have 29%. Okay, now let's have a think before I show you how to work out percentage of amounts. Where do we see percentages in real life? Pause the video again to come up with some places where you think you have seen percentages in real life settings. Okay, so here's a couple, and you might have thought of other ones. I think the most obvious one is in shops, either in supermarkets or in clothes shops, and you've got sales and discounts, 40% off, up to 50% off. But also battery on your phone, 78%, shows how full it is, how much of the whole is filled up. So there's a few places where we can see it. But how would we work out a percentage of an amount? Let's start nice and easy. Let's start with 50%. So 50% is represented here on my 100 square. There's a total of 100 and there are 50 shaded. You can see that 50% is the same as 1/2. Okay, I can see that half of that grid is shaded. That helps me because it makes it easier for me to work out 50%. If I know it's a half and I change this for a half here, 50% of 60 becomes half of 60. Now, when you are halving, what are you doing? You are dividing by 2. So to find 50% of a number, you must divide by 2. Pause the video here and have a go at those 3 questions with that in mind. Swap 50% for half and divide your number by 2. Come back for the answers. Okay, hopefully that's not too tricky. So 50% of 60, half of 60 is 30. 50% of 180, we can do 50% of 18 is 9, and then make that 10 times bigger. And 50% of 14, half of 14 is 7. Hopefully you're all with me, that's not too tricky yet. Let's look at 25%. So here's my 100 square grid again, so 25 shaded. Think about what fraction I've got. So you can visualize it in this representation, and you also probably worked it out in yesterday's learning. So 25% is a quarter. Now, if I'm finding a quarter of something, I'm splitting something into 4, what would I divide by? Hopefully, you are saying 4. So, to find 25%, you divide by 4. 25 is another half again of your 50%, so it's like dividing by 2 and dividing by 2 again, which is a different way of dividing by 4. So with that in mind, try to find 25% of all these numbers, dividing by 4. So either divide by 4 in your head, divide by 4 using your times tables, divide by 4 if you need to with a short division bus stop method, or you can divide by 4 by dividing by 2 and dividing by 2 again, half and half again. Pause the video and come back for the answers. Okay, so 25% of 400, divide 400 by 4 becomes 100. 25% of 24, divide it by 4, use my times tables, that will be 6. And then 25% of 812. So I could have done a little bus stop, or if I want to do it in my head, I could half it, which would be 406. Half it again would be 203. Had to think about that a little bit there. Okay, hopefully you got those answers too. Hopefully we're still not too tricky. So, recap on what we've done so far. To find 50% of a number, you divide by 2. To find 25% of a number, you divide by 4. Let's have a look at 10%. Finding 10% is going to be a really, really helpful percentage to find when we work on harder ones at the end of this lesson and going into tomorrow's lesson. So on my 100 square here, 10% is represented. I've got 10 out of 100 squares shaded. Okay, it has been split into 10. It's the same as 1/10. You will recognise this from your learning yesterday, or you can see it in the representation on the 100 grid. And if I'm splitting something into tenths and getting 1/10, what am I dividing by? That's right, I am dividing by 10. Okay, so to find 10% of something, you divide by 10. With that in mind, have a go at these 3 questions. So 10% of 60, 10% of 150, 10% of 85. Pause and come back for the answers. Okay, dividing by 10 then. So 10% of 60 is 6. 10% of 150 is 15. And then slip this one in as a little bit of a trickier one, dividing by 10. So remember, when we divide by 10, it's not about taking a 0 off, because if I use that as my method, I can't divide 85 by 10. But I can, because it's about moving the digits down the place value chart. So it will be a decimal answer, and hopefully you got 8.5. Okay, 85 divided by 10. Let's get a little bit trickier now. So if I look at my bar model, okay, I'm just going to explain it through here and then work out some using this, because it will might help you to visualize it if you're not sure. So the top, the whole is 100%. Okay, I can split my bar to show 50%. So this side is 50% and this side is 50. And I could split my bar to show 25%. I'm just going to half those 50s again. Okay. And the others are 25%. And I can split my bar also into 10%. 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to forgive me, that was definitely not equal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that one was even worse. Sorry about that. Okay, so each one of these would be 10%. So that's going to be visualized better on the next slide. But 10 of my 10% will make the whole. 4 of my 25% will make the whole. 2 of my 50% will make the whole. That's how it links to what you're dividing by. So if we have a look at this, okay, and visualize it on the bar model, to find 10%, you divide by 10. So 10% of 400. This is the whole, this is 400. I've split it into 10 pieces. So I divide it by 10. And then I will see that 10% is 40. Oh, gosh, excuse me. Bless me, sorry about that. So 10% is 40. And each one of these boxes is 40. Okay, because each one is 10%, each one is equal. And if we add them all up, we're going to get the whole, which is 400. Okay, so how then could I use this information that 10% equals 40 and the bar model? How can I use that, to work out 30%? Pause the video and decide what you think 30% would be and why. Okay, so hopefully you've realised, I need to put my 40s back in, sorry. Hopefully you've realised that you can just times by 3. So once you've got what 10% is, 30% is 3 times 10. 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%, 100% the whole. So in order to do 30% of 400, I do 40, which was my 10%, times 3, which is 120. So 30% of 400 is 120. So before you go off and try this independently, let's recap. So when you look at your questions, you just have to use what you know. So 50% equals a half, and therefore you will divide by 2. 25% is the same as a quarter, therefore to find it, you divide by 4. 10% is the same as a tenth, so to find it, you divide by 10. You might want to copy these down to help you. If you think you're going to forget it, why not make yourself some notes while you're listening to me that will help you in your independent activity. Then the last point is that you can find any multiples of 10%. So you can find 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90% by using your 10%. So if I was doing 90% of 400, I would do 400 divided by 10, get 40, that's 10%, and then times that by 9 to get 360, and that's 90%. So from what we've done today, we can do 50%, 25%, 10%, and any other multiple of 10. That's what your learning is going to look at today. Again, as always, you've got various levels of challenge. So pick which one looks right for you and try and push yourself. Tomorrow, we're going to go even further, get a little bit harder, and I'm going to show you how to work out any percentage of any amount. So good luck today. Remember, if you need any support, join me or Miss White on the Teams at 12:10. Thanks for listening.